This is the mission Apollo 14 to Fra Mauro. It's pronounced Fra Mauro. And as we go in, just when it lands, on the left you'll see what looks like artifacts, because they've got very strange square shapes and rods coming from the structures. So it could be this was a secret mission to try to retrieve alien artifacts. So everything looks fine as it lands. That's the Apollo 14 craft there. As we go in, right there, you'll see that very bizarre shape right there. And when they zoom in, you'll see rods sticking out of there as well, square shapes. It seems as though there's a structure there that's not just moon rocks. So when you zoom, you'll see there's a rod there and a beam-shaped object that curves like that. That shape there is unnatural. You've got those objects there as well. And also, I might have a quick look at that shape there, but things there just don't look like normal rocks, especially that shape coming down like that. That flat shape, then that triangular shape, and obviously on the zooms you'll see further enhancements of that area. They don't look like just normal structures there. So I'll put those zooms up. These are the zooms of that object from Apollo 14. Now here's where the suspicious part comes in. You've got a vertical structure there and a rod or something that seems curved there. There's a lot of straight lines there and structures that seem to be not like rocks. That one there especially. You've got all those shapes occurring. That thing comes up there. Some pictures are good, the other ones, but obviously there's too much there just to be accidental shapes. There's that one going up, and there's the one that comes out of that sort of square that curves around that side. Let's go some more. That's enhanced, so it curves out that way. There's an object which goes up, and there's one that's like a square, and this one looks like an object with a horizontal rod coming off it right there. So I'll just try and enlarge that. There, right there. It doesn't seem to be rocks. Rocks wouldn't look like that. That's why I'm sort of focusing on it, especially in that picture there, the way it looks. That object coming out. That's filter enhanced. That one coming off sideways. It just seems to be too obscure just to be rocks, again, the way it's shaped. That was that other object, Apollo 14. It's curved, then that object on top. These are all images from, that's actually Apollo 15, we'll stop there. So here are those images again of that object or structure. You've got the V shape, you've got all those odd shapes, the tower coming on top. Another one, another one. Now this would be pretty easy to land there at Fra Mauro because there weren't many large structures or cities there, obviously, so it wasn't that dangerous. There's that object there. I think we'll see in these pictures, so I'll just pause it and find the other ones. So these are the one rod coming up, that one bending over, square structures underneath. Obviously not your normal thing to have there. That's the best picture. That shows everything there that's just so abnormal. You've got the triangle shape there. You've got that one rod coming off and a little bit sideways, the one coming on top of it. That object there. That's filter enhanced. That's one other picture. It's interesting because it shows that going all the way through that rounded sphere there, the rounded sphere there, and that U-shaped structure. So it just doesn't seem, again, just to be rocks, and it's accidentally also in the picture. That was hovering on the landscape, so it looks like the orbs that normally follow these Apollo projects right there. That's color enhanced. There's a single one there. These are again that area. It just seems unusual, especially those coming down off there, the rounded one there, the rounded one, side one. These are unusual because it shows 3 spheres. This is also on the landscape Apollo 14, and you've got that weird shape there. So again, it just shows structures which could be a building remnants. It's color enhanced. There are those spheres, could be just to produce a lighting. Well, there could be orbs that are floating there, I'm not sure. There's an artifact. The landscape has a lot of unusual structures there, especially this one that was coming just out of the ground. This is just before it landed, Apollo 14. It flew over the structure as well. Shows spheres again. But the most important thing was that structure with the rods coming on top. During the video, we see interesting objects which they zoom in on the surface. We'll see them zoom in now on an object that's very unusual. Especially that one, they zoom in right there, so that's the one I've caught on high zoom. And just watch as they move in on that one. Very interesting. I'll just try to pause it. Look at that. So it seems to be coming, either it's an artifact or it seems to be coming out of that hole there. And that's the picture that I've zoomed in on as well. They seem to know which area to send them, and they've got an interesting picture as well. They knew where to send them, and the important picture they had seemed to show a crater that was more like a tunnel. I'll just pause that picture. If you look at that picture there, it seems as though it is very unusual for that to be perfectly vertical and circular as a crater. They're actually more like entrances. Look at that, and that white object right there. So it's a perfect circular entrance. It's a vertical all the way down. It's actually more like a tunnel. So they had very good maps of where to send the astronauts. And I had a feeling they sent them to that area to have a closer look at those artifacts, and one's up there as well. And this is the best part. They seem to zoom in on something that's very unusual. So I have a feeling they could even walk over and actually try to retrieve that object. And you see it right there. It just sticks out like a sore thumb. They zoom in on it and they take a very good look at that. Look at that. That just seems as though it's a